I'm Grace Stevens, educator and author from happyclassrooms.com, and my mission is simple: happier classrooms for students and teachers. So this is part 2 of the video that I started, which were the 5 critical elements, most important things to prioritize during distance teaching, distance learning, whatever you want to call it. They're going to be important long after distance learning is over. They're important, period, but they're super critical right now. So if you didn't watch part 1 of the video, go ahead, hop over and do that first. This part will still make sense without it, but in the first part, I'll explain a little bit about why I made the video and why it has a low production quality to it that y'all gonna forgive me for. So anyway, as you may recall, in part 1, we talked about the 2 most critical elements that affected students, and they were connection over curriculum and being less concerned with the skill loss and more concerned with the confidence loss. Okay, so those were the first 2. And I had told you that the next 3 of the top 5 most critical things had to do with teachers and had to do with our sanity and our mental health and protecting our own energy so that we can show up the best of ourselves. And to be quite honest, at this point, almost a year into distance learning, how we can even stay in teaching, because I know a lot of us are looking to quit, have checked repeatedly, how soon can I retire? I mean, it's a real thing. I put on a happy face and I genuinely, I love teaching. Not this year. Not this year. I don't love it. I still like it. I still think it's really important. I think it's more important now than ever. But it has been very stressful. And I'm a seasoned educator. And to be honest, you know, I'm kind of mature. I hate to I love that about myself. I'm mature. I lived through a lot of stuff in my life. I have a pretty healthy sense of perspective, I believe. That might be lacking in, you know, some first newbie teachers, and even I'm finding it really difficult. And that's not because of the technology. You know, that's what it is. I can learn that. That isn't the difficult piece. The difficult piece, as we all know, is putting in more hours than we've ever put in and feeling less effective than we've ever felt. Right? That is it. And a lot of people in our lives who aren't teachers not really getting it. Them getting frustrated why we're still working, why we're so frustrated, why we try so hard to track kids down. I'm teaching with one hand and messaging on the other. Kid isn't in Zoom, your kid isn't in Zoom. It's like juggling a million balls in the air. You know, as someone who loves me very much told me last week, you can't save them all. Yeah, but we're teachers. We're pretty much going to die trying, right? So anyway, so this second part of the video is for you. It's the 3 critical areas right now to help teachers feel less stress and more productive. Okay, so the first one, in no particular order, again, they're all interrelated. If you are not bringing your best energy to teaching, kids aren't learning. If kids aren't learning, it's really difficult for you. But here's 3 things that are really important. And the first one I call your teaching North Star. Okay, what is that? What is a North Star? It guides you. It guides you. What in your heart of hearts do you know about kids that they need that you use as your guidance system? I'm not talking about you teaching why. You know, how many staff meetings, so they're all pulling it out. What's your why? Why did you become a teacher? We all know we wanted to help. You know, we were the kid who was home alone, who didn't have help, and a teacher changed our lives. I'm not minimizing any of that. You know, my mother was illiterate, never went to school. I'm going to give back, right? So everybody has this beautiful reason why they became a teacher. There really is no teacher out there who said they wanted to become a teacher because they would get summers off. I mean, if they did, they lasted 1 year and then they realized that that was completely bogus, right? So I'm not talking about your teaching why. Everybody has their why for teaching. Yeah, it helps to remember it. But what helps to remember is really your guidance. If you haven't figured it out for yourself yet, if you're a new teacher, don't shortchange yourself. You instinctively know what kids need, but you need to have that so ingrained in your head that that's like your personal mission statement, so that when all that static, all that noise comes in, 100 new teaching technologies, like, I don't need 100, I need 3 good ones, right? Or your data meetings, or these committees you're on, and then on your curriculum, and then, listen, when you've been around as long as I am, there's nothing new in education. The pendulum swings one way and another, right? First we're phonics based, then we're whole language, then it comes back in a new package with a new name. Now our data meetings are, progress monitoring. It's all the same stuff. There's nothing new. There's a ton of stuff gets thrown at you, and it is all important. It all has its place, but it's a lot. And so you need to be able not to deflect that, not to, I'm not suggesting that you don't listen to it or don't value it or don't participate in it. What I'm saying is, when it all becomes overwhelming, you'll need to take a breath and know in your heart of hearts, what is your teaching North Star? It's not something you post on your wall that you go telling people, but in your hearts of hearts what you believe children need, and that is your guiding compass. When I am super conflicted with all the things I need to do and all the directions I've been pulled in, I need to be authentic to myself and my North Star. I'm in a new district. It was a new district last year for me. I'm untenured. Yeah, go ahead and laugh about that. It's pretty funny at my age, right? I came to the district for a reason. It was a great reason. I still believe it's a great reason. Who could have planned this? Anyway, all that to say, when I got here, total culture shock. Totally different kids, totally different way of teaching, totally different parent demographic. I wanted to be challenged. Wow, and I got it. But I was starting to get panicked. Like, everybody was teaching. There was a real big emphasis on how you needed to teach. Not my emphasis was on how kids learn. Not to say the emphasis wasn't on either, but there was a very specific style of teaching that was valued at that time, and it wasn't my style of teaching. And so while I did, of course, I learned so much, whatever else, but I found a lot of stress in that. And what I had to do was return to my own teaching North Star. So I encourage you, if you haven't figured it out yet, you instinctively know, take a few minutes and use that as your guiding compass. Mine is this. Here's what kids need to hear from me. I don't tell them, but I show them. They feel it from me, right? That quote, people will forget what you say, but they'll never forget how you make them feel. So I don't tell the kids this, but they feel it from me. That's my goal. So here's my North Star. Here's what I need kids to feel from me when I'm teaching. I see you. You matter. You're safe here. I believe you can achieve at high levels, and your success is important to me. Right? Those are the 5 things. That is from my very essence. When I say your energy speaks louder than your words, that is what my energy, I sure hope, tells kids. I see you. You matter. You're safe here. I believe you can achieve at high levels, and your success is important to me. And that is my guiding compass. So that's number 1. Stay true to your North Star. There is so much static, noise, pulling in 100 directions, things we need to do. It's just a lot, but if we keep to our compass, it helps. Okay, so that's number 1. Number 2, assume the best intentions. Okay, I have a favorite quote by Einstein. I have a lot by Einstein, but this is one of my favorites, and that is, the most important decision we ever make is whether we believe we live in a friendly or a hostile universe. I'm going to repeat that, just like I'm teaching. The most important decision we ever make is whether we live in a friendly or a hostile universe. Okay? That's the whole idea of you get what you expect. If you think you live in a place where everybody's angry and horrible, that's what you'll notice. And those are the people you'll run into. If you believe you live in a friendly universe where people are helpful and doing the best they can with the skills they have in the situation they find themselves in, and that how they treat us has very little to do with us and more to do with what kind of day they're having and how they perceive the world, then you believe you live in a friendly universe. And I believe I live in a friendly universe. That's my belief. Didn't come easy, had to practice it. Whole book on that. Positive mindset habits. It's a habit. But that's what I believe. People are doing the best they can in the position they're in, they find themselves in with the skills they have. And that how they treat us is more a reflection of how their day is going, where they're at, how they perceive the world, than it has to do with us. And when I believe I live in a friendly universe, I take very little personally. I assume the best intentions of everybody. There's a word that's being bandied around all the time, and it's one of my favorite words because it's my name. Grace. Extend a little grace. We've got to extend grace to others. I got to assume the best intentions of parents. Not one of them got up this morning with the intention of annoying you, I don't think. Well, maybe they did. They were taking it personally that you assigned work they couldn't do and their kid can't keep up with. And for the first time, maybe ever, parents are realizing just how much hand-holding their children need in order to get work done. It's been a big realization for some people. You know, these families are in crisis. They're in crisis. We all have jobs. I mean, their jobs are wearing us out. But if you're a teacher right now watching this, you have a job, so you should have a paycheck and you should have health insurance, right? You should know where your next meal is coming from. So many parents out there lost their jobs, food insecurity. Forget the digital divide for kids as far as, oh, some have devices and some don't. You know, some can't pay their Wi-Fi bill. So, yeah. Stress. People are at home on top of each other. They've spent a year together. One kid today on Zoom, I called on him to answer and he was mortified. His parents were screaming at each other in the background. I felt his affect. I felt so bad for him. I felt bad on me that I called on the kid, pay attention. But I felt so bad and I had to send him a message like, you know, dude, we feel it. Like, it'll be okay. And I had to ask everybody, hey, I had to tell him, everybody here, raise your hand, you ever heard your parents yell? Yeah, parents yell, it's what they're doing right now. Sorry. Should they? No. But yeah, they're stressed. There's so much stress in people's homes right now, okay? And so assume the best intentions of your students. When they're handing in blank assignments, when they're just really not giving it their effort, like they just might not have it in them. Like, hold them accountable, of course, but extend them some grace. Don't take it personally. You know, drop the absolutes from your vocabulary. That kid always does that. That kid never does that. There's nobody always or never anything, okay? Drop the absolutes. It's not true. Okay, so extend a little grace. Assume the best intentions. Assume that your admin has best intentions, right? Maybe they're all on you pressure, on you about progress monitoring, data meetings, things you don't consider should be a priority right now. Somebody's on them, you know? Honestly, I have an administrator who I saw sitting in their office the other day. I was on campus. He was just like this. I'm like, hey, you okay? You know, he told me. He said, I feel I have no purpose right now. I mean, I was shocked by the vulnerability of his answer. But he said, I see teachers running around doing stuff, you know? And he's sitting here feeling pretty helpless to support them. And let me tell you, he's a really good administrator. You know, we have a neighborhood school, so everybody lives in the neighborhood. I live in the neighborhood, across the street from the school. Come on now, kids aren't showing up on Zoom. I stand outside their door. Hey, come to the window. Want to make sure you're okay. This administrator goes knocking on your door. If he thinks that, you know, just a wellness check, what can we do to support you? He's a really good administrator, and he says he feels he doesn't have a purpose. So extend a little grace. Everybody is doing the best they can, from the lawmakers, who we're mad at, to the parents, to the students, to your co-workers. extend some grace. Assume the best intentions. Nobody, got out of bed today trying to make you annoyed. Maybe your spouse did. Okay, that's on you. I can't fix that. Okay, but in the teaching environment, you will be less stressed if you extend a little grace. And so that brings me to my last point, number 3, because I'm going to tell you, you need to extend a little grace to yourself, right? Not everything's going to be perfect. This video would never get up if I waited till it was perfect, ever. But I feel more compelled to share what I think people are wanting to hear right now or needing to hear right now to feel supported than I am to worry about the fact that, I've been teaching all day, my hair's probably a mess, the lighting isn't probably the best in the world, I'm in my home office, this is my iPhone 8. Kids with better phones out there than me. And I got the reverse camera, which I know isn't that great because I couldn't figure out how to get my hand around the back. Who cares? I'm doing it, okay? I'm extending a little grace. I have good intentions. People said they wanted to hear this. I'm giving it to them best I can, right? I'm staring at myself instead of the camera sometimes. Whatever. It's okay. Extend a little grace. So the third part is, and I know that this sounds like a meme and people are going to be annoyed, but I'm going to tell you, it is true. Self-care is not selfish. Self-care at this point is mission critical. Stop telling us self-care's important and then giving us emails and meetings to go to. I know that's how we feel about administration. I'm not administration. I'm in it with you. And like I said, I've probably got a few decades of experience on some of you, and I can tell you, you don't think you have time to take care of yourself. Let me ask you this. Do you have time to write sub-plans? I do not. If you don't take care of yourself, how the heck are you going to take care of anybody else? If you listen to my first video, I did say it. Your energy speaks louder than your words. You show up on Zoom, exhausted, resentful, because you've been up all night grading, and kids know it. They sense your energy, okay? You have got to take care of yourself. Nobody's going to come and tell you to do less. Nobody is coming to save you, honey. I'm just going to say that. No one's coming to save you. You got to take responsibility for your own mental health. You got to be very protective of your peace. That doesn't mean you don't support other people, that you don't show up for other people, but it does mean that if there are people who are, I'm going to say it, toxic, limit your exposure. Don't be that person who's like, positive vibes only. That's called toxic positivity. That's not what I do. But do be protective of your own peace. I think I'm going to make a video just on that. A big topic. Be protective of your own peace. But here's what self-care looks like. Of course, there are times self-care looks like a glass of wine and a bubble bath and keep the kids away from me, right? Somebody take my kids out. Let me sit alone quietly for a minute. That's what self-care looks like some days, okay? Face mask. I don't know what guys do. Been single for a long time. I don't know what. Have a beer and watch a game. I don't know. Is that a stereotype? Sorry. But that's what self-care looks like sometimes. But you know what self-care really looks like? Self-care looks like setting boundaries. Boundaries on your time. Boundaries on your energy. Okay? Boundaries on your relationships sometimes. That's what self-care really looks like. Boundaries. Self-care looks like watching your mental diet. If you ate junk food all day, crap all day, ate and drank crap, would you expect to feel good? No. You put junk in your mind all day, you expect to have a good mindset? No. I mean, I'm not saying I don't love a glass of wine and a piece of chocolate once in a while. That's beautiful. That's not my diet. I loved binge watching Bridgerton. Gonna put that out there. But that's not really my mental staple. That was a little treat. A little treat once in a while is good. But like if what you're always watching is drama-filled, doom scrolling. Oh my gosh, let me take a break and look at my phone. Please don't. Please don't. How is that relaxing? Doom scrolling and seeing snarky teacher memes I mean, there's a place for that. Once in a while, they're funny. I get it. Oh my gosh, the whole Bernie thing with the, I was loving it. But, that's not my diet. That's a treat. Okay, so self-care, all right? Boundaries, watching your mental diet, exercising. Oh, yeah, really? Listen, when I said before that one of my mantras is done is better than perfect, there are times when I have been at my desk for 10 hours straight and I really want to go get on my exercise bike. Actually, I don't want to get on it at all, but I know I need to. There's that part of me that's like, the best thing you could do for yourself, rather than finish making that presentation perfect with bitmojis and sound effects, it's good enough as it is. Take that 20 minutes, go get your butt on your exercise bike. That's the best thing you can do for yourself and for your students ultimately. Okay, so self-care also means being disciplined about trying to get sleep. I say trying to. A lot of sleepless nights right now, right? But trying to get sleep, trying to eat healthy-ish, and getting in some kind of exercise. Get outside at least. Go. I have a lemon tree that died, and I am like this lemon tree's best champion. Every Zoom break I get, I go outside and I search for a tiny little bud and I tell it it's going to be okay, and I love this tree. But every time I do it, I'm outside and I'm like, there's a whole world out here that really doesn't care about Zoom or Google Meets or whatever else you have going on. Okay, so, get outside. So I'm going to tell you, I'm kind of having what I call a mom moment. I'm having a mom moment. In case your mommy didn't tell you this, honey, if you don't think you don't have time to look after yourself, you don't have time to write sub-plans, you don't have time to get sick. People are counting on you. More people than probably you want are counting on you. Look out for yourself. No one's going to tap you on the shoulder and say, hey, take the night off. You just got to, be a grown-up. Take responsibility for yourself. And you got to tell your family sometime, listen, I need some time. Okay, I need some time. I need to take care of myself so that I can show up for other people. Okay, so those are the 3 big things. They're always important in teaching, but right now, super important. Really know your compass, your teaching North Star, right? So that you're not dragged in a million directions. Assume the best intentions. Parents, admins, students, co-workers, strangers. The dog that pooped on your yard and the owner didn't pick it up. Maybe their mom just died of COVID. Okay? Give them, extend a little grace. You don't know what people have going on. Don't take things personally, right? It's not a reflection of you. It's a reflection of where people are finding themselves and how they're feeling about life. Maybe they think they live in a hostile universe. If they think they live in a hostile universe, yeah, I look scary to them. I don't take it personal. I believe I live in a friendly universe. If you don't have that mindset, put that on your to-do list, and I'll help you with that later if you like. I'll make some videos. All right, and then the third thing is self-care is not selfish. All right, so I hope you enjoyed this. Again, I don't know how these things get shared. It's kind of a mystery to me. Do it. If there is a co-worker, a colleague, someone, your principal, and you think your staff need to hear this, that nice story about the poor, hopefully you don't feel you have no purpose. He's a nice man. He got over it. He was just having a bad day. He has kids. How do you do this if you have kids? His own kids are like over it. And then the daycare's tracking him down to get his kids back on Zoom. And he's a principal. So, I get it. He has a lot. So anyway, if you know somebody who you think would appreciate this message, get it to them. Send them the link, put it on your Facebook, share, however that happens. I do know that down below, I need to put a link to happy-classrooms.com. That's my website. If you would like to pick up a freebie, I have a personal, what we were just talking about, mindset. I have a journal that has been available on Amazon for quite a few years called Positive Mindset Habits for Teachers. It's a fantastic tool to help you retrain your brain to, anyway, It's good. It's free. If you go to the website, you can get a free digital copy, a 6-week copy. Good enough to get into a habit. 6 weeks is plenty of time to make a positive habit. All right. So thank you so much. And hey, if there's something that I said here that you want to hear more about, you can shoot me an email. I'm sure I'll manage to put that down there somewhere. Or you could leave a comment, right? Isn't that what people do? Leave a comment. Tell me what you want to hear about. I'll stand here and talk. You don't mind that it's me in my office? In my pajamas? Come on, we all do it. Pretty soon we're going to have to go back to school. We're going to have to put on some real pants and some real shoes. But that's okay. For right now, business on top, relaxed underneath. There's no reason to be uncomfortable. All right. Take care. Be good to yourself. Be good to others. Thank you.